This is Argostars. Holy moly, let's freaking do it. Begin.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
Let's start off with That's 10. Starting off with a Terror Top special summon, searching for the Take Tomborg. That's 1. I'm not going to be counting this up, don't worry. We now have Droll and Lockbird, which essentially kills all rogue decks. This is the end for Argostars probably, right? We have Take Tomborg still special summoning as we now go into the X-Saber Invoker, which will special summon from the deck, and then the Ash Blossom will negate. Now, unfortunately, I think that will then be the official end for Argostars here. But there's still a chance with the That's 10. We need 6 more card effect activations. So we have Field Spell, then we need 5. Then if they activate 5 more, plus we have Ash, so they only have to activate 4 more, then wait, we're still making plays. We're not done. Silhouette Rabbit activate to put a 6 counter onto That's 10, setting up a Slayer Edio. I have to commend Argostars for being able to do something through an early Droll and an Ash Blossom. That is incredible. Now, if we read the Argostar home stadium, if a continuous trap activates its effect in the monster zone while you have a banished Argostar monster, which we do not, you would then be able to, more than once per turn, negate a face-up card the opponent controls. That is going to be the main play of the deck to continually keep on negating. Let's see what we have banished. We have nothing. So beyond that, what do we have? We have the Rabbit, which can trigger off of the back row trap to pop a back row, which could be the My Friend Purrely. Now, let's see what else this does. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a card or effect, you can special summon this card, and then if you have a banished Argostar, so the Argostar effects are doing nothing because we can't have a banished Argostar, unfortunately. So it's literally just going to be Rabbit, pop a back row plus Ash Blossom. And then maybe That's 10 going crazy, right? That's 10. Let's Slayer Edio, summon from the back row, trigger the Rabbit, pop off, wipe away the My Friend Purrely. Ooh, it's at 8, mate. Wait, we didn't summon it because we're going to Ash it instead. Okay, sure. That's 9. 1 more counter. You make a single play. Wait, it's over, right? That's it. 10. Do we win? What's this going to do? That's 10. Trigger the 10. Set an Argostar Lightning. Discard That's 10. Summon itself, searching for the Argostar. And then we're going to be burning for 500 and wiping away the field spell. Sure. Sleepy Memory, discard special summon the Purrely, as we're going to use the Lightning. Ooh, this is it. I think this is the play, because what does this do from the hand? During your opponent's turn, if you control a continuous trap, you can banish this card, make the attack of 1 monster on the field 0 until the end of this turn, so it's quick effect banished to then meet the requirement of the field spell to then negate a card. Now, unfortunately, we're negating the second effect, because this is the trigger effect on someone to search our deck, so the secondary effect of turning into an Xyz monster will be negated. So watch out for that. Wait, we didn't do it. We didn't do it, right? I mean, why didn't we do it? I feel like we were supposed to negate. Are we gonna wait? Okay, I guess we're waiting on our negate. Now we're setting up the Slayer Edio is gonna be the negate, potentially. Okay, this will be summoning into an Xyz as we summon the Edio to spin it back. Oh, the other form of disruption. That is great. Very nice. So I was focused so heavily on the field spell, and now the field spell just negated the Purrely from being able to Xyz the hand. But I think we're done. Yeah, we are out of disruptions. We have the Delicious. We're going to go into a Nightingale, unfortunately, it looks like a Zeus is going to be wiping up the entire field. So thanks to having the banished Argostar, we could spin a card back, and then we had that single negate. Let's further go into the Zeus to say goodbye to our entire field of continuous traps. Wipe the field! This required quite the setup, a setup that required 10 activations for That's 10 to facilitate. We now have the Slayer Edio, which, this is still a disruption, right? You don't have to discard a card. When they activate a card effect, special summon this card, and then return a card in the field back to the hand. Get rid of the Zeus. There you go. Wipe away the Zeus. Get that Zeus out of here. Wipe it. And then from there, we could, if we wanted to, I guess, Delicious discard summon from the deck. Are we out of Purrelys to summon? We have a Lightning into the back row, which is going to do nothing. You could discard a card to special summon this card and then add an Argostar from your deck, which unfortunately there's nothing to discard. The That's 10 returning back to the hand very much helps out with this play. We have the Lily going into the Plump. Now, with the Plump, we're going to be activating the My Friend Purrely. What we want to do is flip this up in response to the activation of the Happy Memory to chain link block the Plump from equipping it. We're going to be sending to suck up the back row card before they could even chain link block, unfortunately. And then that results in a scoop. We almost had the way. We had played through a Droll and an Ash Blossom. We are still able to pop a back row, return a card back to the hand, negate a card on the field. Hopefully in game number 2, we could see more from Argostars. Start off with That's 10. We're going to be summoning the Glorious Adra. Glorious Adra on summon is going to get negated by Gamma, which was supposed to be doing nothing on its activation, essentially. It just activates on summon, a mandatory activation. We have Ash Blossom negating the Gamma, which it's unfortunate because the Gamma can activate again for when you use your real effect. And the real effect is going to be banish this card from your hand where you control it to put 2 Argostar continuous traps of different names from your hand or deck. Now, this effect does go through your opponent, cannot activate cards or effects in response to the activation of your continuous trap cards, which she will still be respondable to. That's 10. Let's get Bob boosted. Let's go. Triple. Yup, we had our monster, their monster, our monster. We didn't negate the activation. Let's go. Gamma's also limited to 1, by the way, so what the hell is that? Let's further build this up. And the Gamma. This is such a powerful effect that you pretty much lose, right? That's it. Banish this card you control. So it's not ashable, but it is impermeable. It is veilorable. I would say this deck loses to an imperm or Veiler. That's the big issue with this deck right now. We're going to be setting up the EDO. So our forms of disruption here are going to be the ability to spin a card back and negate a card on the field. Double disruption through the double Gamma. EDO, let's go. This will not spin back because we don't have a banished Adra. That's 10 is building up the plays. Ain't no way. Up to 8 counters here. All right. And then we have the Sleepy Memory summoning a Lily onto the field. That's 10, going for the 9th counter. 1 more, and it is done. It will return back to the hand and play whatever continuous trap we want into the back row. Let's focus. That's it. It's 10. 10 is here. Setting up the trap into the back row. We have the Lightning activating right away, discarding the That's 10 into a Maxi in response to the special summon of the continuous trap. Come forth and summon onto the field, which is going to then be searching the deck for the Parth. Parth is here. We are going to be using the, what was the field spell effect there? Applied the effect of what? Each time it continues, it was just inflicting 500 damage, sure. We're now going to be using the effect to negate, and that's going to be negating the Lily on field. So you may be thinking, well, why aren't we negating the My Friend Purrely, right? It's activating, let's chain to then negate it with the field spell. This deck would actually be a very good deck if it could do that. It's going to activate on a separate chain link to negate a face-up card. So you have to preempt your negate. You can't respond to an activation. We still did it. You what, mate? Resolution, we didn't activate the effect to discard and search, right? So we negated in response to the activation of the card and not in response to the activation of search in the deck. So there you go. Hopefully this is understandable to you. Downward Magician. Zeus is also a big counter to the deck. So if you could stop the Adra effect, if you could Zeus the field, that is a big problem. Now, the Slayer EDO, couldn't this have just countered the Downward Magician? Parth is going to be triggering, activating here, reveal this card, and then return a continuous trap into our back row back to hand under Maxi, giving them another draw. Wipe the field! Slayer EDO could have been used in the battle phase, right? In response to the Downward Magician? They have to, we can't activate this whenever. That's the problem. It's not spin a card whenever, it's only when they activate a card or effect. So by going into Downward, they're not activating anything, then they go into the Zeus, and then it's too late to disrupt. That's a big issue. Right, they have to activate in order to spin back. Another downside of the deck, so the field spell having to negate on a separate chain link, the EDO being able to spin but only in response to an activation. All of these are really big downsides for the disruption of this deck not being as good as it could be. Lily is going to be equipping from the graveyard, going to the beauty. It's always very interesting to see Konami make brand new deck types with all of these subtle, nuanced restrictions and downsides, which they forgot to apply to previous decks like Tier Limit. So is this a way of Konami saying, we know we screwed up with the earlier card designs that were too broken and had no restrictions whatsoever. We're trying our best to create more restricted gameplay. Purrely, reveal from the hand, come forth and go into the E-Purrely Nor. Let's speed this up. E-Purrely Nor, nothing to chain link block it. The deck is way too balanced, yeah. But ideally we get to the point where all the new decks are balanced and all the older decks are just nerfed and banned. Well, now, off the top of the deck, we have a lightning, these names. Tideo, a lightning, just a lightning. We're gonna go into the X-Purrely Nor, which with 7 materials, it has 4 though, because it's only a rank 7. Only at 5 would it be unaffected from everything. So we could affect it with card effects, but we're gonna spin back the Glorious Adra back into the deck. Konami, why so many downsides? Why? This effect could have been a quick effect to banish this card. So this is not a quick effect. The spin back is only in response to an activation. The field spell's on a separate chain link. Are there any other downsides with this deck that I'm missing? They really cooked with the specific downsides to ensure this would be too good. Purrely is gonna go off the top of the deck, grab a Sleepy, as we're going to be revealing 3 cards to the deck, randomly add 1 to the hand. We got the field spell, making our newly special summon going to be untargetable. Purrely Leap, return from engrave, back into the deck, return 3. DK BRB still on the screen, thank you. I'm having a day. End phase equipping onto the beauty, and we're now going to be drawing a card during the standby phase. Imperm is going to be negating the beauty. Let's go. We do have the Little Knights in response to an activation, get banishing. The Lightning does nothing because we have no card to discard. And the deck is BRB. Yeah, BRB until the new Xyz comes out. Otherwise, it's not even close to being a great deck. But still, Marco, I'm very happy you played the deck. I want to see more from you. I want to see more from other players. I think I'll try to whip the deck out myself, even though I gave up on, I forget what was the field spell deck that I gave up on. I'll probably give up on this one too, but I'll try. Begin. Start this off with a max C in the draw phase, call with the grave, finger that C, not today. Negate. Now from here, where are we going? We're gonna be saging this up. There's no disruption whatsoever, so let's speed this up. Sage, search for Maiden. Maiden set up the True Light. True Light set up the Wishes. Wishes, discard a card from the hand, search our deck for 2. We have a Roar and another Veiler here. As we now go into a Spirit with Eyes of Blue, search our deck for the Mausoleum, which the Veiler could have been a Sage to additional summon to then search for a Veiler. As we now reborn our Blue Eyes White Dragon from engrave to summon a Maiden from engrave, we're going to Wishes of Eyes of Blue, equip onto the Blue Eyes White Dragon, giving us targeting protection during the next turn. We're going to use Roar to summon from the deck a Blue Eyes White Dragon, as we additional summon the Veiler into a double Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. So let me give a few things of advice on this play though. So number 1, I would think it's better to see if your Spirit Link 1 can successfully search for the Mausoleum before activating the Wishes, so that you can ensure that your Wishes could search for a Sage that you could actually summon. If you were to Wishes first and then the Spirit Link gets negated, you're stuck with a Sage in hand. It would then be better to search for a Veiler. So Link 1, field spell. Once we secure the field spell, search for a Sage, summon. Also, if you can, without the Link 1 being on the field, which you could turn it into a Blue Eyes and then a Tyrant Dragon potentially after using Wishes, what you want to do is think about this idea. Can I access Blue Eyes White Dragon without using the field spell? What's the benefit of that? Well, the benefit is by accessing a Blue Eyes through a Roar instead of your field spell, you can now use the field spell's secondary benefit beyond giving you access to a Blue Eyes, which is to target your Maiden, which will then give you an additional body on the field. So by getting to Blue Eyes through the Roar, you then get the Maiden on field. Again, without the Link 1 being on the field, there are ways to get it off the field. You could even make a Hieratic Seals as an option. And then with the Mausoleum, target Maiden, Reborn Sage. And then you have Maiden and Sage plus Blue Eyes and Blue Eyes. This field could potentially be a Hieratic Seals plus double Spirit Link and a Veiler in hand. So it would be 2 additional disruptions in addition to what we're seeing here if we were to have made the plays that I suggested. Let's go. We're going to draw phase, go into the ultimate Spirit Dragon. Shield Bearer is going to be searching our deck for a Baku the Beast Ninja, which triggers on being added to summon itself onto the field. We have Green Ninja summoning onto the field by flipping face down. As we now go into our form of Disruption, we're going to banish the Baku, and we're going to Chain Link block the Negate. That is great. So this is going to be targeting a card in the field to banish it, say goodbye to the Ultimate Spirit, and if you try to negate it, you're negating the Green Ninja instead, which is targeting a monster on the field to change it to face-up attack or face down. So what is the Yagamaru targeting even? It's targeting the back row, as the Green Ninja is going to flip down the Ultimate, so we have to negate it for that reason. Or we just don't. Looks like we're not. We're going to just use the effect to negate the Engrave, so we're not using the Ultimate Spirit, which I think then messed up our play actually, right? I think the Yagu should have targeted... We had the idea that we would have been okay with the Green Ninja forcing the activation of the Ultimate, but the Ultimate can't even activate in response because it only negates an effect on the field, not Engrave. So now this is activatable, which is probably not good for us, right? Still activatable to negate a card in field. We get rid of a random crossout designator instead. And now with activating the Notebook, we're going to be grabbing a Ninja from Engrave and from the deck. Sure. As now going to the Cipher Divine with a monster negate, plus you have the ability of Majesty to pop not 1 but 2 cards in the field. Double field wipe. Normal summon the Hanzo. Hanzo is going to get negated, and then Cipher will destroy any card on the field. It does not have to be the Hanzo itself, but we will destroy the Hanzo. And we have not activated the Ultimate Spirit Dragon yet. If this negated the effect, this card would stay on the field, and this negate would not be good. But it negates the activation. Thus, an equip card, continuous card, a field spell now goes to the grave because the activation was negated. Think Fiendish Chain. If you understand what that card is, if you play Duel Links. You flip it up, negates the effect, it would stay on the field, still negating the card. We have the True Light putting itself into the back row, Cipher Divine protecting the Ultimate Spirit within the end phase, and Blue Eyes be doing what Blue Eyes do, clapping up the duel. Maiden trigger, Engrave, Reborn, everything in attack position, 10,000 damage, perfectly sequencing these attacks to ensure we have White Lightning. It is Ninja Gaiden time. Tobari is going to be activating to summon a Hanzo from the hand here, not taking up our normal summon, but by specialing instead of normaling, it has a different effect. The effect instead is to search for a monster instead of a ninjutsu art. Negate with our Veiler, normal summon the Hanzo. Ash Blossom is going to negate the search of a ninjutsu card here. We should have a good rank 4 Xyz play, right? Into Invoker is what I'd be thinking, or go into the I Sold. Saizo is instead. We're now going to reinforce our hand with a Shield Bearer. Mind you, our normal summon has been used up. What are we searching for? The Baku. Baku on being added special summons, and then on special summon, target a ninja in the graveyard, added back to the hand, which we don't have a way to get the Hanzo out. We have Saizo activating during your main phase to set a ninjutsu card from the deck. Now, why did we negate Baku instead? Well, while this card points to a monster, and only while it points to a monster, it cannot be targeted by card effects. So we waited on the Saizo effect like a ninja, dodging the impermanence. Nicely done. Now, in the TCG, they would probably let you take the card back, and you may be thinking, that's ridiculous. No way they would. Well, they would say it's an illegal activation. You're targeting the Saizo when you can't, and then you'd add it back to the hand. Come forth, Maizen, the Battle Ninja, is here. In response to a card activation, the Maizen will summon a ninja from the deck, which could flip cards face down. The duplication could turn into a form of disruption here. This should maybe be about 2 disruption. Let's see. Load up our hand with a barrel. Barrel ideally needs to be your main normal summon because it could bridge its way into a mausoleum, additionally summoning a sage, where a sage cannot bridge its way into summoning a barrel. We're going to set a drill beam from the deck here, and as I said, flip face down, permanent flippage, get flip, and we're going to tribute off our Maizen to summon from the deck here. Mitsu is a form of disruption. Tobari is a form of disruption. We could fuse into banish. We could Mitsu negate a monster effect. In fact, can we negate the Maiden right now? The opponent activates a monster effect, target a face down, flip it up, and then negate. Let's do it, mates. Yes. Just like that. No true light set for you. And then we could banish the drill beam with Tobari. We're gonna use the Geo effect, also an additional disruption. If a monster on the field's flipped face up while this is face up on the field, you can target a card your opponent controls and destroy it. Destroy the load before it summons a Blue Eyes from the deck, and then Tobari's gonna fuse into the Yagumaru, which will banish away the drill beam. Slayton, I am loving this. Great plays all around. We were able to negate, flip face down, destroy, banish. We had quadra disruption there. We're going to flip up the Mitsu because you flipped with the Geo. We get to pop a card as we now go into the cross shape, pointing to a fusion monster. You don't have to fuse with cross shape. It just has to point to a fusion. And because it is, it will now trigger to reborn a level 4 or lower from the grave. Come forth. Baku is the way as we search for a Kagaru, the muscle mommy of the deck here. Oh my, holy moly, Jesus. As we're going to be setting the Kagaru and then special summon the Mitsu, going into a Boral Sword Dragon. To battle we go. 2K, 3K, double attack 3K, change the battle position, lethal damage. Now, Maizen allows ninjas to attack directly, and through the equip card, you could turn your Boral Sword Dragon into a ninja, and then it can attack directly. Hopefully, we're going to see something like that in Game 3, possibly. Let's go. Barrel on summon, setting from the deck. We have no disruption whatsoever. Let's speed this up. Load searching for the drill beam as we now go into a spirit with the eyes of blue, searching for the mausoleum. Mausoleum is going to send a Blue Eyes White Dragon from the deck. Let's reborn it. Why not? Can then summon a Blue Eyes. This is going to be a Hieratic Seal plus drill beam play. And then just the additional cards we drew into. Without searching it, we have a Majesty to pop up to 2 cards in the field. We have the Ash Blossom to negate interaction on the deck. We could finger a card in grave. I'll just count that as a disruption for here. We also have Hieratic Seal, spin back a face-up card back to the hand, non-targeting. We have Drill Beam to negate and banish a card. 5 disruptions plus a Max C. And this is considered a bad turn 1, I think. We didn't bridge into True Light Sage, no Spirit Synchro, and that's still a ton of disruption. What the shite? Okay, let's Tobari plus Mitsu. Chain Maxi in response to the Mitsu summoning itself onto the field. I think a big fear here was if the Hieratic Seal were to have been used early to spin back the Tobari. We have Green Ninja if a monster special summoned. We're going to then summon the Green Ninja. We're going to use the Hieratic Seal to spin back the Mitsu. Now, we have to carefully read this for a ruling. You target the monster to then special summon this from the hand. If you do, change the monster to face down defense. So can it not summon now? It still summons. Come forth and summon. As we now Hieratic Seal, summon from the deck a Magna Hut, and then we're going to be tributing off our field to go into a Contact Fusion Maizen. We're going to use the Ninjutsu Notebook. I'd say this is a good Ash because it's grabbing 2 cards from the deck. Well, 1 from the grave and 1 from the deck. We have Maizen chaining to the Ash Blossom, summoning a ninja from the deck. We have Kagaro, which is going to, on summon, be able to reborn a monster in grave, but it's going to be face down. Tobari, face down from the graveyard. We're going to fuse it up into the Yagumaru, which is going to banish a card in the field, going for the back row Majesty. Now, the Drill Beam is not activatable here because we didn't have a Blue Eyes or a Primite in our hand. Now, what could have made the Drill Beam activatable? Oh boy. So something you want to consider here if you're the Blue Eyes player is if I don't have my Drill Beam activatable, what made it so? What was my mistake? The mistake was pulling the second Blue Eyes White Dragon from the deck through either the Load or the Mausoleum. If we instead kept Blue Eyes in the deck, we could have, on the second activation of Hieratic Seal, summon a Blue Eyes from the deck, and then you could use your Drill Beam. Now, someone may be thinking, why not summon a barrel from the deck, then use Drill Beam? This is not your locals. That'd be cheating. That does not count. You would need, I think it's a level 5 or higher primate to use the Drill Beam on field. So it'd have to be Blue Eyes from the deck, and then the Drill Beam would be turned on. 2-1 victory. Let's go.